International Media TV, television that listens to you.
Hi, I'm Johnnie Burrell. Welcome to the program.
The world-acclaimed Lorraine Hansberry Theatre, named after America's first acknowledged black female playwright, held a black tie celebration and fundraiser on Saturday, October 16th at the Westin St. Hotel in the City by the Bay, San Francisco. Board President Al Dixon, his colleagues and volunteers did a masterful job of putting the event together. The Bravo 30 event celebrated the theater's 30th anniversary. It was also a time to remember the theater's founders, Stanley Williams and Quentin Easter, both of whom died this year. Lorraine Hansberry was there in spirit, and some family members attended the affair, namely her sister, Mamie Hansberry, Mamie's daughter, Nantil Hansberry Charbonnet, and Mamie's great-granddaughter, Tawnea Hansberry. The stars were out for a good time and a good cause. There was entertainment, hugs, smiles, food, and drinks aplenty. The theater's fundraising goals were met, which was a cause for celebration. Thanks, Lorraine, Stanley, and Quentin. Your artistic work and inspiration will not go unnoticed. The Lorraine Hansberry Theatre will see to that.
wonderful, talented actors, especially those known as black actors. The Lorraine Hansberry Theatre has survived black actors. Black actors that have said, "Do you think his laughs are bigger than mine?" Or, "The show was Friday? I thought that was just rehearsal." Or blurry-eyed actors that have said, "I'm not high." Honest. Or egotistical actors that have said, "Let me do his part, I can do it better." Or actors with worried spouses that said, "If you're unfaithful, I want to be the first to know." Their reply, "You won't be the first to know, you'll definitely be the second to know, at best." Actors that said, "He's stepping on my lines and dropping his cues, and I think he's doing it on purpose." Actors that said, "Do I have to kiss her?" Which is interchangeable with actresses that say, "I'm not kissing him." The Lorraine Hansberry Theatre has survived actors that have said, "Can I have just 2 more counts?" You don't get it, but the actors know what I'm talking about. Or, whose line was it? Whose line was it? It wasn't my line. Oh yeah, that is my line. The walls of the Lorraine Hansberry Theatre has heard actors say that director doesn't know what the hell he's doing. And directors saying that actor can't act for shit. But all in all, somehow the play goes up. There is success or failure, but always the promise of another play. I salute the survival of the Lorraine Hansberry Theatre. And my prayer is that even with the death of 2 very formidable talents such as Quentin and Stanley, that the Lorraine Hansberry Theatre will survive this momentary loss and continue to thrive as a forum for great black theater. There could be no better legacy. There could be no better legacy for the godfathers of Bay Area black theater to leave behind than the Lorraine Hansberry Theatre. Please give generously. Thank you.
I am so honored to be here, to be a part of this event this evening. This is something extremely special to me, personally. I've had the good fortune, the blessing of being in show business now for some 50 years. And a lot of you say, well, 50 years, wait a minute, you started in Cooley High. That wasn't 50 years ago. But no, it wasn't Cooley High that launched my career. In 1959, I was walking down the street, 10th Street in Greenwich Village, New York, with my mother. I was 12. And she said, "Glenn, you know my friend Lorraine? She's written a play and there's a part for a little boy here, and she was wondering if you would like to try out for the part." I said, "Well, Mom, I don't know." I said, "I can't be in a play. I got a ball game. I got to play ball. When is it going to be?" And she went on to explain that it was a play that was headed for Broadway, and that it was going to star a man by the name of Sidney Poitier and a lady by the name of Ruby Dee. And I said, "Well, I don't know, Mom." I said, "You know, I got important things to do." So she said, "Well, just audition." Now, I didn't know what an audition was. So I go to this place in Midtown after studying this script, a part of the script that had arrived. Now, I knew Miss Hansberry. She lived on Bleecker Street. And she had a little collie dog at the time. And we used to play marbles, you know, on the street when we were kids. You sit on the street and you play marbles. A lot of y'all don't know what that is. Come on, somebody know what marbles is. You know what marbles is. We played Atari marbles. And I would shoot these marbles, but I always knew when Miss Hansberry was coming because this little dog would walk right through the middle of our game, followed by these beautiful legs. And I'd say, because I had a crush on her, "Hello, Miss Hansberry." And she said, "Hello, Glenn. How's your mother?" I said, "She's fine." Well, I'm lucky that I didn't know what an audition was, because I would have been nervous, because when I got to the place where they were being held, there were all these other little black boys about my age sitting in the hallway waiting to go in to audition for Lloyd Richards, Lorraine Hansberry, Phil Rose, and Mr. David Cohen. And I went in and auditioned because I said to myself, I don't know what these other boys are doing here, because I read the play, there's only a role for one little boy, that's me. So what are they doing with me? And I got the part. And so that launched my career in the original Broadway production of A Raisin in the Sun. To be here this evening, sharing this moment with these brave men and women who have kept this theater alive in honor of Miss Hansberry warms my heart more than you could ever imagine. We must keep this theater going. She is an icon, a legend, and changed single-handedly the face of American theater as we know it today. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me on. Please help me welcome John Wesley.
You know, I want to say, oh damn, I got to follow Glenn.
You're saving the best for last.
Yeah, that's what you say. But I will say this, it's a true honor for me to be here too. This is a place that I fell in love with back in the 80s. A very special person here sits on your board. And she introduced me to San Francisco, the theater. A woman by the name of Gloria Weinstock, who is the woman who, whenever I talk in LA and anybody's coming to San Francisco, I said, go see Gloria because she knows the Bay Area. She is the Bay Area. But what she did was, I was asking her tonight, when did we open the Oakland Ensemble? When Benny Ambush was here. He asked us to open it. And I'll never forget it. Esther Rowe was there. I'll never forget her words. She said, yes, she was there. And what she said was, if we don't save our theaters, we can't have a place to tell our stories. We'll have to go into somebody else's house to get our stories told. Well, that always stayed with me because it's so true. If we don't figure out how to sustain and maintain our own independence by way of our own artistic house, which is the Lorraine Hansberry, and by the way, ladies and gentlemen, my understanding is there's only one black theater left in San Francisco. And you hear that? So all I'm trying to say is that this theater is the one theater that cannot afford to go down. We really, really need to keep this one alive. There's another reason. There's a bunch of local actors around here in the Bay Area. And doggone it, they need a place to work. Come on, guys. They're not over at the Berkeley level. Not in the large numbers that we'd like. This house, they can come here and get a real job and learn something about craft, hang around fantastic people who can teach them things. Get away from me, Kevin. I do want to say this, that like Glenn and Ted, we all come from the theater. We all started in the theater, and this movie and television business comes along much later. This is where we learn. This is where we come and get our craft. And we go out of here and make some money at it, if we're lucky. But I ain't got no money. I'm trying to hang out with you. You and your Lorraine Hansberry money. It's a real honor, though, to see all these beautiful black faces and white faces and green faces and whoever else's faces. And you guys are so, I am so proud to be in a place. You guys made your quota. They asked for money, and only in the Bay Area, I'm bragging now, only in the Bay Area would we get this kind of response for one of these kinds of evenings. So I don't say this for Lorraine Hansberry, we are so in love with all of you here tonight. We just appreciate so deeply, because we know these dollars are hard earned. They don't come easy. So we thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Ted and Glenn and I are just honored that you asked us to come up and be a part of this. In fact, we're going to be bragging all the way back to Los Angeles. Talking much talk here. So thanks, y'all. Thanks a lot. We really appreciate it. Go, Lorraine Hansberry!
Ted Lang, Glenn Thomas, and John Wesley. Gentlemen, thank you very much.
P, step!
Who will start the pledging off at, there we go, ladies seated at $1,000, bidder 231, thank you. The gentleman seated, bidder 034, that's 2 at 1,000. So really we have 4 now, thank you very much. Bidder number 161, thank you very much. Bidder number 017, let's give a big hand at $250. Bidder number 163, thank you. 217, thank you. 216, thank you. 092, we appreciate it. 073, 219, 208, let's give a big hand, folks. 206, 119, 108, in the back at 103, way back at 144. Any other business? 053.
Thank you. On behalf of the estate of Jan Faulkner, the founder and owner of Ethnic Notions, I am proud to present the Lorraine Hansberry Theatre $15,000.
I think the whole coordination of the evening was brilliant. And who is the assistant in doing the event planning for the event? Who else?
Christian Gavin, and In Good Company, was our event planner and did a marvelous job in putting the entire event together, working with the committee, and you saw the committee chairs as well as the committee members who stood up, and plus our staff. Is just, I can't say enough about our staff and what they have done.
I heard some of them have just joined you in the last couple of months.
Some of the folks we have brought on, the staff members though, have been there. For example, Mark Paquette has been there and provides a lot of continuity. Joy, our office assistant, has been there. Shirley Howard Johnson though came on 2 months ago and just jumped right in and has done a wonderful job for us. So the staff is great, and also our financial guy, Brandon Iwata, who was introduced tonight.
Jerry, as I would say the most iconic Renaissance lady of television, radio, and broadcasting, I am congratulating you on your new endeavor of your
international television station.
Correct. And your publication.
Well, you know, I have my book. I just gave it to
Yes.
Al. I hope you like it.
Read it.
All right.
Ready to read it.
Let me just say this to Al. Al, it's like I am mesmerized by tonight. And I guess I'm old enough to say mesmerized. That's quite an accomplishment because I've seen just about everything. Right. But this thing was spiritual. It was taking us back to our roots. It was having these, to be my age and see these young men on stage. When we came here as slaves, did we know that this many 300 years later we'd have that dynamite sitting up there dancing and telling the world that we're here and around, and telling the world that guess what? They can bring the Tea Party on or anybody else they want. We are here, we are alive, and we aren't going anywhere.
And we ain't going anywhere.
Ain't going nowhere.
That's what tonight's all about.
That's what it's all about. And it showed also with the faces, the people put their money where their mouth was.
All right.
Is that right?
Thank you, Jerry.
I like that so much. Okay, and I'm just, this place has really just enlivened me. It just made me feel, I feel like I'm a happy person anyway. But this thing tonight has made me overjoyed. Oh. And I want to thank you, Al, because I know how hard you had to work to do this. I know what it takes to put this together. This was a perfect, from beginning to end, from the party at the beginning, the reception, to everything on the service, the place, the ambiance. And Teddy was down in Hollywood, right? He said Teddy said they haven't seen anything down. Was he a hoot? He was in his element, and he loved what happened tonight. So he's in the spirit of this thing, and he's on call when you need him.
Thank you.
Okay.
And like I said, this theater now belongs to the entire community.
Absolutely.
And that's what it's all about.
We got to keep it in the community, because guess what? Without them, we'd go nowhere.
Well, part of our inspiration, Jerry, has been your trailblazing career.
Oh, well.
So part of this evening actually was definitely an inspiration to you, and the well thought out planning of the general manager of Lorraine Hansberry Theatre. We thank you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We are overjoyed.
Right. Looking forward to reading the book.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
The most outstanding thing about this evening It's the sense of community and the understanding that in the theater our stories are told. And in the Lorraine Hansberry Theatre, the stories of African American playwrights can not only be written and come alive, but can be appreciated. And that brings a sense of understanding of who we are.
Did you also know that that was the only black theater that's left in San Francisco?
Yes, because, I'm a longtime San Franciscan. I came to San Francisco in 1969. So yes, I was here long before then, and then Robert has also had a long time in San Francisco. But we're also New Yorkers, we've lived in New York for so long. So the theater for us is hugely important.
And I think during this time of budget shortfalls and decisions being made about our young people and their education and the nature and the quality of that education, I believe it's very, very important that we can continue to support the arts. Because if you look at what our children are challenged with, and that's globalization, that means creativity, that means imagination, and the arts provide that. That's the part of the brain that gets developed through the arts. So it's more important that from an academic standpoint, human capital standpoint, that the arts exist. And as you say, if this is the last black theater in San Francisco, that's not something to celebrate. That's something that's a shame. And there should certainly be far more of this. And in fact, I'd like to see a Lorraine Hansberry Theatre in the schools.
Absolutely.
Because schools have different types of troupes, and they're doing sorts of thespian kinds of presentations. And I think that would be a wonderful ground for you to introduce the theater and have it supported, because the schools can't do it themselves any longer.
And it's one of the reasons also that I really spoke from our hearts together, that I hope next year every single person who buys a ticket buys a third ticket.
Yes.
And that ticket be for someone under the age of 30, so that we can introduce them to all of the possibilities and what their imagination can give to themselves and bring to the stage, and therefore bring to the audience. So that's our goal.
Have you set forth in instrumenting some of those things? I think that's a brilliant idea. Has there been any kind of concrete structure or anything that's, I would say, networking through that information?
Well, first of all, it's an idea. And an idea is only an idea until it can be implemented. And since we just said it this evening, going forward, yes. But to us, it's pretty basic. If we're going to go somewhere and it's the two of us, then we buy a third ticket. And then you can find young people.
And if in fact you're challenged to do so, we suggest you contact United Negro College Fund or the Thurgood Marshall College Foundation. They have 109 historically black colleges and students, black students, who are our tomorrow. They're in the STEM, they're in the science, technology, engineering, math, and the arts. So there's wonderful places and opportunities for Lorraine Hansberry to extend what has happened, what has gone on, and the mission, and introduce that into our black colleges and universities.
Well, we thank you tremendously for your support and patronage, and for your brilliant ideas this evening. And thank you for attending.
Thank you.
Thank you. Pleasure's ours.